The cleaning robot I wanted turned out to be a tempting alien girl. The unexpected package. Liam Archer wiped sweat from his brow as he reset another malfunctioning environmental filter. The Helios 9 research station was understaffed and overworked, orbiting the gas giant Calypso at the edge of colonized space. For 6 months, he'd been handling the work of 3 engineers, his only companions the occasional transmission from Earth Central and the gentle hum of life support systems. Station AI. Any update on my maintenance unit delivery? Liam asked, sealing the access panel. Affirmative. Cargo shuttle docked 16 minutes ago. Your package awaits in receiving Bay 3, replied the emotionless voice. Liam's spirits lifted for the first time in weeks. He'd requisitioned a top-line maintenance unit to handle the endless filter replacements and conduit repairs. Finally, he might have time for his actual research instead of constant fixes. The receiving bay doors slid open with a hydraulic sigh. Inside stood not the metallic service droid he expected, but a humanoid figure with shimmering blue-green skin that caught the light like mother of pearl. She turned toward him, eyes the color of amber with vertical pupils that widened slightly as they focused on him. Greetings, Engineer Liam Archer. I am Alara, Meridian Biosynthetic Service Liaison. I have been assigned to assist with your station maintenance needs. Her voice carried a melodic quality, each word precisely enunciated. Liam stood frozen. There's been a mistake. I ordered a Taurus 7 maintenance unit. Alara tilted her head, the motion eerily fluid. Her hair, if it could be called that, moved like liquid copper, flowing and settling around her shoulders. No mistake. The Interstellar Exchange Commission has replaced mechanical units with biosynthetic liaisons for all frontier stations. We offer improved adaptability and learning capabilities. They sent an alien instead of a robot, Liam muttered, running a hand through his disheveled brown hair. I am not merely alien, Alara replied, showing no offense. I am specifically engineered for compatibility with human needs while providing cultural exchange benefits. Liam circled her cautiously. She wore a simple utility jumpsuit, though it seemed designed to accommodate her non-human physiology. And Earth Central approved this? With enthusiasm. Alara picked up her small transport case. Your heart rate indicates stress. Perhaps I should begin by addressing your most urgent systems failures. How do you... Biosensory perception. I can detect various physiological indicators. Her expression softened into something almost like a smile. I also note that maintenance log 347 indicates 16 filter replacements awaiting attention. Liam sighed. He hadn't expected company, certainly not company that looked like her, but he desperately needed the help. Fine. Let me show you around. He gestured toward the corridor, but understand this is a temporary arrangement until I sort this out with Central. As they walked, Alara maintained perfect distance, her movements graceful despite the station's artificial gravity. Liam couldn't help noticing the subtle way her skin reflected the overhead lights, creating patterns like sunlight through shallow water. I understand your reservation, Engineer Archer, she said quietly, but I believe you will find our collaboration mutually beneficial. Something about her calm confidence made Liam pause. Perhaps this unexpected package might prove interesting after all. Adaptations. 3 weeks into Alara's stay aboard Helios 9, Liam grudgingly admitted she was remarkably efficient. The environmental systems ran at optimal levels for the first time since he'd been assigned to the station. Filter replacements that once consumed his days now happened while he slept, and the persistent coolant leak in Section 7 had been ingeniously repaired using a method he'd never considered. Your solution with the thermal coupling was creative, Liam acknowledged one evening as they shared the small dining area. He'd grown accustomed to her presence during meals, though watching her consume her specialized nutrient solution still fascinated him. On Meridia, we learned to adapt existing materials rather than replace them, Alara replied. Resources are precious when your atmosphere contains corrosive elements. Liam found himself studying her more often lately. The way her copper-fluid hair seemed to respond to her emotions, becoming more animated when she was excited about a new discovery. Her iridescent skin changed subtly under different lighting conditions, sometimes appearing more blue, sometimes more green. You're staring again, Alara observed without looking up from her data tablet. Sorry, just still getting used to having company. Liam cleared his throat, embarrassed at being caught, especially non-human company. Is my appearance distressing to you? Her amber eyes met his, vertical pupils dilating slightly. No, not at all. It's just different. He struggled to find appropriate words. Actually, you're quite beautiful. In an otherworldly way. Her skin rippled with a subtle pattern, something Liam had come to recognize as her equivalent of a blush. Thank you. I find human expressiveness fascinating as well. Your faces communicate so much. Later that evening, as Liam worked on research data in his quarters, the door chimed softly. Enter, he called, expecting a routine maintenance question. Alara stepped inside, closer to his personal space than she normally ventured. I've been studying human customs of socialization. Your station logs indicate previous crew members engaged in recreational activities together. Would you be interested in teaching me one of your games? The request seemed innocent enough, but Liam couldn't ignore the gentle warmth that spread through his chest at her interest. They ended up playing chess, which Alara picked up with remarkable speed. When she reached across the board to move a piece, her hand briefly brushed his. The contact sent an unexpected jolt through him. Her skin was warmer than he'd imagined, with a texture like smooth suede. I apologize, she said immediately, noticing his reaction. It's fine, Liam assured her, though he found himself wondering how that touch would feel elsewhere. The thought both alarmed and intrigued him. As weeks passed, these moments of casual contact increased, Alara learning to hand him tools with a light touch, standing closer during system inspections, her copper hair occasionally brushing his arm as they worked side by side in tight spaces. Each time, Liam felt the same rush of awareness, a mixture of fascination and desire he hadn't experienced in years. He told himself it was simply the result of isolation. Anyone would develop an attachment to their only companion after months alone. Yet deep down he recognized it was more than that. There was something compelling about Alara, her intelligence, her different perspective, the elegant grace with which she moved through the world. One night, after helping her understand the nuances of Earth humor, Liam found himself laughing at her deliberately terrible attempt at a joke. Their eyes met, and for a moment the space between them seemed charged with possibility. Liam, she said softly, using his first name for the first time. I think we need to discuss something. Hidden protocols. Your biological responses to my presence have changed significantly over the past 17 days, Alara said, her amber eyes studying him with analytical precision that couldn't quite mask something deeper. Elevated heart rate, increased skin temperature, pupil dilation, all indicators of attraction in humans. Liam felt heat rise to his face. I didn't realize you were monitoring me so closely. It's not intentional surveillance, she explained, perching on the edge of his desk with unexpected casualness. My species naturally perceives these biological signals. It's how we communicate on Meridia, where verbal language is secondary. And what exactly are you communicating by bringing this up? Liam asked, uncertain whether to feel exposed or relieved that the tension between them was finally acknowledged. Alara's copper hair swirled with more animation than usual. I should inform you that my assignment here has multiple objectives. Beyond maintenance assistance, I am gathering data on human emotional responses and relationship formation. Liam stood abruptly. So I'm some kind of experiment? You're studying me? Not in the way you imply. She reached toward him but stopped short of touching him. The Meridian Diplomatic Corps seeks better understanding of human connection to improve relations between our peoples. But, her voice softened, my personal interest in you has developed beyond my protocols. Before Liam could process this revelation, the station alert system blared. Warning, environmental system failure in Hydroponics Bay. Emergency protocols initiated. Sections 12 through 14 sealing in 30 seconds. That's impossible, Liam said. We just upgraded those systems yesterday. They rushed to the hydroponics bay, barely making it through the automatic doors before they sealed. Inside, the atmospheric regulators were cycling erratically, creating a dense fog as humidity levels spiked. The primary control node is overheating, Alara said, already moving toward the central console. If it fails completely, we'll lose the entire crop cycle. For the next hour, they worked in seamless coordination, Liam's technical knowledge complemented by Alara's ability to interface directly with some of the systems. When they finally stabilized the environment, both were damp from the humidity, standing closer than necessary in the misty air. "We make an effective team," Ilara observed, her blue-green skin glistening with moisture droplets that caught the light like tiny stars. "We do," Liam agreed, suddenly aware that they were locked in the hydroponics bay until the emergency protocols reset, at least 6 hours according to procedure. "About what you were saying earlier, about your assignment objectives." Ilara's expression became serious. "I want you to understand something, Liam. While data collection was part of my original directive, what has developed between us is not manufactured or false." She hesitated, then continued with uncharacteristic uncertainty. "On Meridia, we value truth above all else. So I must tell you, I have experienced emotional responses to you that were not anticipated in my preparation." "You mean you have feelings for me?" Liam asked, needing the clarity. "I experience attraction, affection, and desire," she confirmed. "My people do not process emotions identically to humans, but we do feel deeply. The difference is that we usually maintain stricter boundaries." Liam stepped closer, testing those boundaries. "And now? Now I find myself wanting to explore what exists between us beyond my assigned parameters." Ilara's amber eyes held his gaze. "If you are willing." In the quiet sanctuary of the hydroponics bay, surrounded by the only green things for light years, Liam realized how much he had come to care for this extraordinary being. His hand reached out, fingers gently brushing against her cheek. "I'm willing," he whispered as the distance between them finally disappeared. Stellar collision. The morning after their confinement in the hydroponics bay, Liam woke to find Ilara already at work in the station's command center. For a moment he wondered if he had imagined the intimacy they'd shared, the tentative touches that had evolved into passionate exploration, the way her copper hair had twined around his wrists like a living caress, the surprising warmth of her iridescent skin against his. "Good morning," she said, turning from her console with a smile that confirmed everything had been wonderfully real. "The atmospheric regulators are fully functional again. I've implemented a new monitoring protocol to prevent similar malfunctions." "Always efficient," Liam replied, allowing himself to move closer than professional boundaries would dictate. "Even after distractions?" "Some distractions prove remarkably conducive to creative problem-solving." Her amber eyes sparkled with mischief. "Though I should note that certain aspects of our interaction were not covered in my cultural briefings." Liam laughed, feeling lighter than he had in months. "I imagine there's a lot about human intimacy that doesn't make it into official reports." As they settled into their work routine, Liam noticed subtle changes in their dynamic. Ilara seemed more relaxed, more willing to share personal observations about her homeworld. During a maintenance check of the station's outer hull sensors, she described the floating crystal cities of Meridia, where buildings shifted and reformed according to the inhabitants' needs. "Our architecture responds to emotional states," she explained as they monitored the sensor readouts. "Spaces expand for celebration and contract for contemplation." "Like your hair," Liam observed, reaching out to touch the fluid copper strands that now often reached toward him when she was near. "Yes," she agreed. "My hair filaments contain specialized sensory cells connected to my emotional centers. They're actually a simplified version of our architectural technology." That evening, they shared dinner in Liam's quarters rather than the common area. As artificial night fell across the station, conversation gave way to more intimate explorations. Liam discovered that the patterns on Ilara's skin responded to his touch, creating swirling bioluminescent trails wherever his fingers traced. "Is this normal for your people?" he asked, fascinated by the glow that followed his caress down her shoulder. "The bioluminescence is common," she explained between soft gasps, "but its response to another's touch is unique to emotional connection." Later, as they lay entwined in the dim light, Ilara traced patterns on Liam's chest. "On Meridia, physical intimacy is rare outside formal pair bonding," she confessed. "What we're doing would be considered progressive." "Are you concerned about consequences when you return?" Liam asked, the question bringing unwelcome reality into their sanctuary. Ilara was quiet for a moment. "My people value authentic experience above rigid tradition. The knowledge gained through our connection will be valued, even if the method is unconventional." Liam pulled her closer, not wanting to think about the inevitability of her departure. For now, they existed in their own private universe, learning each other's bodies with wonder and tenderness. Ilara's natural curiosity made her an enthusiastic explorer, discovering what pleased him with scientific precision and unmistakable passion. As days turned to weeks, they established a rhythm. Efficient professionals during station operations, devoted lovers during off hours. Liam taught her Earth customs and expressions. She introduced him to meridian meditation techniques that created surprising mental synchronicity between them. What neither discussed was the countdown timer on Ilara's assignment. The unspoken knowledge that their time together was finite hung between them like an approaching asteroid. Impossible to ignore but too painful to acknowledge. Until one morning when the station's communication system chimed with an incoming transmission from Earth Central, marked urgent and addressed to both of them. New orbits. Your retrieval shuttle will arrive in 14 standard days, announced Director Chen's holographic form, floating above the command center's projection unit. The Exchange Commission is quite pleased with the preliminary data from your assignment. Liaison Ilara. Liam kept his expression neutral, though he felt Ilara's distress through the subtle way her copper hair stilled completely, a reaction he'd never seen before. The assignment parameters suggested a minimum 6-month placement, Ilara replied carefully. I've been aboard Helios 9 for less than 3. Chen's hologram flickered slightly. Circumstances have changed. The Meridian Council has requested accelerated return of all exchange personnel for a diplomatic summit. Additionally, Engineer Archer's replacement team has completed training ahead of schedule. Replacement team? Liam interrupted. This is the first I'm hearing about being replaced. Your extended solo assignment was always temporary, Engineer. Your research findings have proven valuable enough that Earth Central is expanding Helios 9 into a full research facility. You'll be promoted to lead environmental engineer, with a team of 4 under your supervision. Under different circumstances, this news would have thrilled Liam. Now it only highlighted the approaching end of something precious. After the transmission ended, silence fell between them, heavy with unspoken thoughts. 14 days, Liam finally said. Not much time. Ilara's amber eyes met his. Time is relative when measuring significance rather than duration. That evening, instead of their usual research review, they sat together in the observation dome, watching the gas giant Calypso rotate slowly below them, its swirling storms creating mesmerizing patterns of purple and gold. What happens when you return? Liam asked. Will they reassign you immediately? Most likely, Ilara admitted, though the data I've collected and my personal experience may influence future exchange protocols. Liam took her hand, his thumb tracing patterns on her iridescent skin. Is there any possibility of you returning? Or me visiting Meridia? Human physiology would require significant adaptation to survive Meridian atmosphere, she said softly. And my kind are still limited in how long we can remain in Earth-normal conditions without cellular degradation. Reality settled between them, cold as the void outside. Yet instead of pulling away, Ilara moved closer. In ancient Meridian philosophy, there is a concept called entwined particles, she explained. When 2 quantum entities interact deeply enough, they remain connected across any distance. Neither time nor space can truly separate them. Like quantum entanglement in our physics, Liam suggested. Similar, but with consciousness as a component. Her copper hair gently wrapped around his wrist. My people believe some connections transcend physical proximity. The next 14 days passed both too quickly and with exquisite intensity. They worked together to prepare the station for the new crew, documented their research findings, and spent every free moment creating memories to sustain them through the coming separation. On their final night together, Ilara shared a Meridian bonding ritual, teaching Liam to participate in a form of consciousness sharing that left him with the lingering impression of her essence, a mental connection he could still sense even when they were in different parts of the station. When the retrieval shuttle docked, they stood together at the airlock, professional in appearance but with hands discreetly joined. This isn't an ending, Ilara said with quiet conviction. My people are advancing interstellar transportation technology every cycle, and the Exchange Commission values successful cultural integration. Which we certainly demonstrated, Liam replied with a sad smile. Indeed, her amber eyes held his. I have included several recommendations in my final report. including the value of long-term exchange assignments and the potential for permanent diplomatic liaisons. As the airlock cycled, Ilara pressed something into Liam's hand, a small crystalline object that pulsed with gentle bioluminescence. A communication node, she explained. It will connect to your station systems, limited by distance but sufficient to maintain contact while solutions are developed. In that moment, Liam realized this remarkable being had never intended their connection to be temporary. While he had been dwelling on the approaching separation, she had been creating pathways for continuation. Until next orbit, she whispered, using a meridian farewell phrase she had taught him. Until next orbit, he echoed, watching as she stepped through the airlock. 3 months later, as Liam supervised his new team aboard the expanded Helios 9, a transmission arrived from the recently established Meridian Embassy on Earth. The message contained official notification of a new diplomatic exchange program and a list of candidates for permanent assignment to frontier stations. At the top of the list was a name that made Liam's heart race with renewed hope. Liaison Ilara, specially requested for Helios 9 Research Station by mutual agreement of both governments. Some connections, it seemed, truly could transcend distance and difference, creating new possibilities that neither world had imagined before.